Welcome back, everyone, to DSP versus the Internet, episode 66. We are finishing up the Ultra member videos for this week. Remember, if you become an Ultra member of this channel, you are the people who we get to watch your clips 4 weeks in a row, guaranteed. And we have 3 left to go. Then after that, we're going to get to the submissions tier, which is basically people competing in a randomized playlist to get their videos watched. Let's see what the final Ultra members have for us for this week. Here we go. So, Zangief got new combos, a new patch side-by-side comparison by Desk a day ago. So this is some of the changes that have happened to Zangief in Street Fighter 6 with the new patch that launched last Wednesday. Let's see. So that was because low fears now counter hits, or on a punish, it makes a ground bounce, and that allows him to do a combo like that. So I'm going to watch that again. So there's the low fears. Down forward medium, the EX Lariat into level 1 super. Corner only, but that does a lot of damage. Okay. So what they're showing you is that there's the new wake up reversal that everyone has. He can do the Tundra Storm, which is a leg catch. And on characters, I guess, who maybe you do a kick wake up, it'll stuff it. No one uses that, though. It's pretty worthless, that Tundra Storm catch. Okay, headbutt. Okay, what they're showing you is that this now combos. Now, hold on. What was that again? Man, I can't go back and fast forward better than that. That sucks. Headbutt is now +7 on hit. They're saying headbutt is now +7 on hit, which makes combos with the headbutt better. Okay. So now... Oh, that's good. I didn't know that. So you do headbutt, down forward, medium, and lariat. You couldn't do that before. You had to drive rush in order to extend the combo. Now you can do that without a drive rush. Nice. Nice. Look at that. Okay. That is a huge difference. Thunderstorm can catch drive reversals. Yep. I'll just let it play it because he's gonna replay it himself, so I won't rewind. Body splash. The double kick is now comboable. Yes, the down stomp, so he's down, down, and kick, is cancelable after the second kick. Oh, you can cancel off low. You can cancel off drive rush low medium kick now? I didn't even know that. Yeah, so now power stomps are special cancelable. Oh, wow. Really? The final hit of Lariat puts an opponent into a juggleable state. Wow, and it's standard Lariat, but it's only the final kick. Okay. There it is. Ground bounce. What the hell? That didn't even look right. That is stupid. That works like that. Down plus HP causes a ground bounce on punish counter. That super should not combo. That is so dumb, right? Drive rush double headbutt? He did double headbutt. Oh my god. Oh my god, seriously? You could do headbutt 360 now? Jumping SPD has increased juggle potential. Yeah, that's crazy. You can combo into it in the air now. Oh my god. Oh man, there's some interesting changes. Now, why in the hell would you want to do this? Why would you ever want to do that? Wow, the parry. The parry. If you're wondering why that why did that work? Parry, when you do a standing parry and it misses, it has a giant hitbox now. So you can throw it from like way far away now, which is crazy. That was pretty cool, right there. Insane corner only full meter bird out combo. Haha, that's silly. That's with the silly combo. So
58.
What we're seeing there, I would say some of those changes are absolutely great. Like the headbutt being faster, you can combo after headbutt easier now is really good because now you don't have to drive rush after a headbutt to get a giant combo. Also, the fact that he did drive rush low medium kick and it comboed into this down forward medium punch means you can combo off a low medium kick. You couldn't do that before. That's two dramatic increases there that are good. And then also, he was showing that you could basically air combo air 360, but I don't know if that's only off that the fierce punch he was showing or not. I'd have to experiment with that. Okay. All right, let's see what this is.
Right now in the Twin Cities, it's a comfortable Tuesday night. 46 in Hinckley, 57 in Marshall, 50 is the current temperature right now in Winona.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's funky. What is going? Ooh. I don't really know what's going on.
Look at her hands. Endless hands.
Oh, man. Do you guys want one Jennifer or two Jennifers? This is what, oh my, this
It won't end.
Can you lead that train off the monitor?
Wait, what now?
Can you lead that train off the screen? Oh, shit, Lord.
That's a lot. They changed it.
I have no idea what that was, but that was brilliant. Yes, it was. 41 for overnight low temperature frost advisory in southeast Minnesota by tomorrow afternoon. I can't
Minnesota.
even talk right now. Sunny and warmer, daytime high of 67. By tomorrow evening, quiet and a few clouds.
Is that it? That's it. It was a graphical glitch. Okay, and this is the normal news report then. That was funny. Now, this same person, I believe, also submitted a video for submissions tier, which we may or may not get to today, and that's supposed to be the explanation of how that happened. Okay. All right, our final video. Does high FPS make you a better gamer? Featuring Shroud. Let's see here.
To get some very special guests.
How old is this? 4 years ago.
To come and participate. Representing the Filthy Casuals, we've got yours truly and Paul from Paul's Hardware. And we are going to get truly embarrassed today because in the pro gamer tier, we've got Corey here from the Washington Justice esports team.
I have kind of a general idea of what I'm doing today.
Then
I wonder if it even applies anymore because he played Overwatch and Overwatch is dead, right?
we've got a couple of outstanding Twitch streamers. Mr. Grims.
Going from 144 to 240 kind of felt like a slight upgrade for me.
And, as so very many of you requested, the one and only Shroud.
Going from 60 to 144 is like night and day for me, obviously, right? But 144 to 240.
So let's get down to business, shall we?
Really? And again, what people are saying, and we were talking about this morning on the podcast with Street Fighter 6, people who are playing Street Fighter 6 on PC are playing at a minimum of 120 hertz. And apparently people are saying that's a huge difference. That could basically be why so many people are so easy to counter drive impact, to try to counter moves that are, coming out. And I can't do it. That could definitely be the reason why.
So to measure the impact of monitor refresh rate and FPS in-game on our subjects, we've built a suite of 5 tests, going from synthetic reaction time tests to aiming tests to putting the whole thing together. So behind me, I have 3 identical systems, except that they've got one key trait modified. So they're all running Core i9 9900K processors. They're all running the same Acer Predator 240 Hz displays, but their graphics cards have been altered. System number 1 is running an RTX 2060 Super, which is capable of running our test games today at anywhere from around 250 to 300 frames per second.
Wow.
And its monitor has been completely uncapped to 240 Hz.
Damn.
This is our best case scenario for competitive gamers. Or so we think. We'll see how the results go today. System number 2 is at the other end of the spectrum. So our monitor refresh rate has been turned all the way down to 60 Hz. But we went even further than that because having a very high performance graphics card on a 60 Hz display still does actually give you better responsiveness than if you had a lower performance graphics card. So we have dropped our GPU all the way down to a GTX 750. This is going to give us anywhere from 70 to 85 FPS.
Did you hear what Linus just said? He said, if you have a graphics card that runs at a higher frame rate, even if you're not seeing that frame rate on your monitor, you still have better reaction time. That's what he just said. He says because you'll have less input delay. So if you're playing on PC and you're only playing at 60 frames, but you have a graphics card that can run the game at 300 frames, and you're telling it to do that, you will play better. Wow.
In our games. And finally, by popular request, representing the middle ground, we've got our third monitor dialed into 144 Hz and hooked up to a GTX 1650 that is going to push anywhere from around 150 to 185, 200 FPS. Now, just like last time, our test subjects are going to have no idea what hardware they're sitting down in front of until they actually start to game, and we're going to be using high-speed cameras to record not just their test scores, that we could get out of the software, but all.
So, let's just fast forward way ahead because Ellie's interviewing them and stuff. Like, what are the results? I'm wondering, right?
240, 240.
Whoa, what? Look at the difference. At 60 frames, look at the scores.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had misunderstood this test. I have to play against Shroud?
Just for the first one.
You say that like it makes it a lot better. So test number 5 is going to be a good one, and we've just got Shroud dialing in his mouse DPI and in-game sensitivity settings until he's at the point where he feels like, yeah, this is pretty good, I'm ready to go. Now, he does usually use a G Pro wireless instead of a G Pro with a wire, so that might introduce a little bit of variability, but at least it's the same basic sensor, so
Yep.
hopefully it's all right. So test number 5 is the shooting gallery test. Obviously, everything we've seen so far is still synthetic in the sense that you're playing against bots. Now, it's time to see if those skills translate into the real world and take on a human opponent. I sure wish I could have picked my opponent here, but I don't get to. I did pick him, but like not because I thought it would give me a chance to win.
Hey, you could beat me here.
Yeah, I don't think so. So the way this test works is both competitors are going to be at the far end of a long hallway, and Seth from NVIDIA is going to be crouched behind a half-height wall and just popping up at random human intervals. Whoever kills him first gets a point. We played a best of 5, then...
All right, it's interesting, but it's taking too long. Like, I just want to see the results. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I want, the results.
Our data and our high-speed footage and see if using a high refresh rate monitor and a powerful graphics card like a GeForce RTX 2080 Ti can make you a better gamer. It's worth going through test by test here. While raw reaction times in our synthetic test were similar across refresh rates, when it came to reacting to moving objects and timing in our double doors test, hit rates were way lower at 60 FPS 60 Hz than at our higher refresh rates.
Wow.
With most of our shots actually being just a few milliseconds off. We also have a couple of shots here where they look like they could have been hits, but ended up missing because at 60 frames per second, the target's location doesn't update as often, which meant that what our camera, and therefore your eyes, was seeing was already out of date by the time the shot landed.
There you go.
Mr. Grimm showed us that with enough practice, you can actually overcome some of this disadvantage. His experience with beat and rhythm games allowed him to quickly familiarize himself with the speed of the cue, so that's the appearance of the opponent, and then predict when they would cross his crosshair. But everyone, including Grimm's, performed better with frame rates over 60 FPS, showing that with more information to predict trajectory and speed, everyone will perform better.
There you go. And that's what I've been saying all along, is that people playing these games on PC versus console, these cross-platform games, have an innate advantage. As long as you're playing on PC, either on a PC that can run a higher frame rate, even if you're playing at 60 Hz or 60 frames, you have better reaction time. He already said that. It'll already give you less input lag, right? Or even more than that, if you're playing at a higher frame rate, 120 Hz, 144 Hz versus someone at 60 like me, I'm playing at 60, you just have better reaction time. It's completely unfair. If you're playing in a tournament, everyone's playing on the same setup. Everyone has the same reaction time. But if you're playing online, it's completely unbalanced and unfair. The only way I will ever have an equal playing field against people playing online games, particularly Street Fighter 6, is to play it on PC with a higher refresh rate. It's the only way to do it. There you go. Lady Christmas says this video is a few years old. And he says the cards that they were testing in here were 400 to 500. Now the new cards are 700. So there you go. They're even more expensive now. Wow. Well, there you go. Whenever I'm playing people and like, gee, why do they always get to counter drive impact and I can never counter drive impact? Now you know why. That's literally the explanation. It was just laid out factually by a guy who fucking does these tests for a living. 10 million views 4 years ago. He proved it. Okay. Thanks, Linus, for corroborating what I've been saying for the last year playing Street Fighter 6. Everyone who's playing on PC has an advantage. Okay. All right, what we're going to do now is we are going to switch over to the submissions tier. Oh, you're saying it's cheaper now for powerful cards? That's cool. Oh, I don't need... What am I doing? I already have it on my console here. Cool. So, we're going to go to the submissions tier playlist. Thank you to everyone who is a submissions tier member of this channel. I appreciate you supporting this channel. Here we go. And let's do... Last week I started near the beginning of the playlist. All right, let's start around here. Yeah, let's start around here. How many videos in is this? Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll start at video number 9 of like 21 or something like that. Okay, so hold on. Okay. So again, if you're an Ultra member, you're guaranteed to watch your videos. That's why we just watched 2 hours of Ultra member videos. Now it's time to go to the standard and, or excuse me, the submissions tier. Thanks to everyone who supports this channel. Shout out, by the way, to Hiseo, who popped their 14-month membership here and said stopping by to say hi. Thank you for that. E says, hopefully you'll be able to enjoy real high FPS gaming in the future. 60 feels like 30 when you're used to 144 or higher. Wow. Okay. Smoother animation does not equal better animation. Okay. AI animation used in the video is linked in the description. Okay, let's see what they mean by this.
I'm mad. And bleeding. Tom and Jerry made 60 FPS using AI. Interpolating pixel art with AI. Even a simple animation can be made fluid and lifelike using AI. Your animation to 60 FPS. AI's enhance. Animate to 240 FPS. What Mulan would look like in 60 FPS. 5 million views. Just fuck it, right? I'm an animator. Why try?
Yeah.
Press a button. You know, does it all for you. Hey Google. Animate this video.
Sure. Now playing Sorry About Your Penis.
Oh, it's not what I just don't get it. I don't get it. This is the Mario in Unreal of animation. A complete slap in the face to the animator. I could give you several reasons. Hell, I could make a whole ass video about why this looks so bad. And you know what? I think I will. I think I will. Because either I rant to you for the next 10 minutes to satisfy the goblin in my brain, or he's gonna tell me to do something far worse. Fucking... Come on.
We are watching in HD.
Fuck.
Make sure. Oh, yeah. It's 50. 50 frames? He purposefully made the video 50 frames. Okay. I've never even seen 50 frames, but okay.
Okay, let's just cover the basics. This is 24 frames a second. This is 48. Look close. You see the difference. Good job. Basically, unless you're watching a soap opera, a gaming video, or Gemini Man,
No.
most of the video you watch is displayed at the standard 24 FPS. Now, 24 frames every second sounds like a lot. Because it is. But it's pretty rare for animators to consistently create a new drawing for every single frame. Even during the most complex and fluid movements, animators will often hang on a single drawing for longer than 1 frame.
Right.
If it's on screen for 2 frames, we call that animating on 2s. If it's up for 3, it's on 3s, 4s, and so on. There's a lot of reasons you might do this. Maybe you want to make two things feel different from each other, and the different frame rate helps us sell that. Maybe a low frame rate is part of the style. Maybe a character's movements are so far away that nobody's going to even notice. Maybe a choppier movement looks better with less frames. And I could go on, but you get the point. It's not just a compromise.
We did a lot of animation testing, and we found out pretty early on that in order to capture the spirit of the comic books, we'd animate on 2s, and sometimes we would hold frames for 2 or 3 frames.
When there's 24 frames a second, instead of doing all 24, you 12, and the mind fills in the gaps between them. It makes it feel more graphic. There is a clarity and a crispness in that. So we latched into that as an aesthetic that I think made it feel more like a comic book.
And here's the thing. Just like animating on 2s or whatever looks fine if it's done right, animating at more than 24 FPS can look great. There's nothing wrong with having more frames when the artist intends for there to be. Yes, the issue at hand isn't the prospect of HFR animation. Instead, it's this shit-ass trend I'm seeing more and more of where some degenerate with Moonbrain will take a perfectly fine animation and remaster it, that is, stick it into an AI and press render, to create new frames in between the perfectly fine existing ones. This is widely referred to as interpolation, and not—
For the record, the content that I am remastering on DSP Throwback is my old camera footage pre-direct capture. And the reason that we're upscaling it with AI to have more frames is because it looks awful. The old camera stuff was choppier than 24 frames. It was actually meant to be like really, I wanted it to be higher frame rate, but the cameras back then weren't good. They just weren't recording at a higher frame rate. I had cameras that claimed they were 60 frames and they weren't. And so a lot of the times taking those videos and upgrading them to the higher FPS makes it look way better. Like right now with the LA Noire playthrough, when you're watching just an investigation or an interrogation, the 60 frames looks really good. The problem is it doesn't always work. There's cases where the driving doesn't look right in 60 frames, probably because the game wasn't designed for 60 frames. Later on, they remastered it, and then it probably ran much better. I would never go ahead and take a video from my era of direct capture and upscale it. There's no point. The direct capture stuff is fine. The reason I upscale the stuff from my old days of the camera pointing at the TV is because the camera was a lesser tech. It's not clear, and the frame rate is choppy because of the shortcomings of recording like that. What he's saying essentially is animation is done intentionally. Like an artist might go on 2, so it's only 12 frames per second, or they might decide to go at 24 frames instead of 30. Maybe they purposely animate it at 30 because they think it looks more cinematic. All these people who are just taking this and running it through AI and tossing it on YouTube and getting insane views for it, all right, are doing absolutely no work and basically getting millions of views off of animators' work, which is fucked up. The animator worked hard to make that artistic for a reason. Why then bastardize it and ruin it because you think that you've remastered it for an audience without, and a lot of the times I guarantee you that's done without permission. Do you think someone got permission from Disney to upscale Mulan to 60 frames? Of course not. They just did it, and they got millions of views doing it, right? So I get where this animator's coming from, and I know why they're upset. The AI idea here that we're going to upscale everything with AI is messed up. And by the way, this is 3 years old. So this was actually early on when they were doing it. This is happening with everything, right?
Not only does it completely fly in the face of artistic intent, it also just so happens to completely undermine several of the most basic principles of the entire medium of animation. Seriously, there's like a whole book about this, written in the Middle Ages by the 9 guys. People call it the animator's Bible. Now, I'm not a religious man. The book outlines what we call the 12 principles of animation. You got timing, staging, exaggeration, anticipation, straight ahead versus pose to pose, solid drawn, arcs, follow through and overlap, squash and stretch, secondary actions, appeal, and easing. Now, I don't expect you to internalize and remember all of that, but suffice to say, all of these principles are, in their own way, extremely important to the process of crafting a good-looking cartoon. And here are the ones that the AI completely fucking ignores. Are you beginning to see the problem? Side note, if you're an animator, you should seriously buy that book if you haven't already.
I guess it's rare.
That's expensive. I want to buy this book, but for not expensive. If only there was some kind of program that would... Honey.
Oh, okay, it's his ad placement now. All right. Well, I agree with the animator. When you're running everything through AI and claiming that you're remastering it, you're making it better, you're not. There's artistic interpretation, and there's sometimes an animator wants to show things in a certain way for a reason. Just because you increased the resolution, you increased the frame rate, does not make it better. Sadly, people are just simpletons in this line of thinking. Especially today, you see what's going on with AI and how everyone's doing this to everything. So, all right. Thank you, guys. Time to split the part. When I come back, more of these submissions to your videos here on DSP versus the internet. See you then.